The boy never stayed in one place for long, not in school, not at home, not even inside his own thoughts. From a very early age, Harland Sanders moved through the world like he was being pushed forward by an invisible force. Something inside him was always restless, always unsettled, always searching. This is the story of a boy who could not stay still, a boy who failed again and again, a boy who drifted with no clear direction, and a boy whose constant movement would slowly shape the instincts that later defined his life. Harland Sanders was still very young when stability disappeared from his world. After his father died, everything changed overnight. His mother was forced to work long hours just to keep food on the table. Responsibility fell onto Harland's shoulders far too early. He cooked meals for his younger siblings. He watched over them. He tried to act like an adult before he had finished being a child. But responsibility did not bring him peace. It brought pressure, heavy pressure that never seemed to lift. School became a place he hated. Sitting still felt impossible. Listening to lessons that had nothing to do with survival felt pointless. Teachers talked about futures that felt unreachable. Harland's mind was always elsewhere, racing ahead, trapped between boredom and frustration. He was not unintelligent. He simply could not adapt to a system that demanded quiet obedience. The walls of the classroom felt like a cage, so he left school early. There was no graduation, no celebration, no plan, just a decision to walk away and keep moving. His working life began immediately, and it was harsh from the start. Harland took whatever jobs he could find: farm work, manual labor, helping hands, errand work, anything that paid even a small amount. Every job felt like a chance to restart his life, and every job ended the same way. The hours were long, the pay was low, the respect was non-existent. He was talked down to, ordered around, and easily replaced. If he questioned authority, he was punished. If he complained, he was fired. If he quit, no one cared. Harland lost job after job. Sometimes he argued with supervisors. Sometimes he walked away in frustration. Sometimes he was simply told not to come back. Word spread quickly. People began to see him as unreliable, a troublemaker, a young man who could not follow instructions. But while others judged him, Harland was watching, learning, absorbing everything around him. He watched how bosses spoke to workers. He noticed how businesses were run. He paid attention to what worked and what failed. Even when he was treated badly, he remembered it. Every experience became a lesson, whether he wanted it to or not. As he grew older, Harland began drifting from town to town. Staying in one place felt unbearable. The moment life became routine, his restlessness returned. Predictability made him uncomfortable. It felt like giving up. He tried selling insurance door to door. He worked farms again. He labored in factories. Each time, he hoped things would be different. Each time, they were not. There were days when he had almost no money. Days when food was uncertain. Nights spent sleeping wherever he could find shelter. But even then, something inside him refused to give in completely. Failure became familiar. So familiar that it stopped shocking him. Instead of breaking him, it hardened him. He began to understand the world better. He noticed that many adults were trapped in lives they did not choose, working jobs they hated, following rules they did not respect, living without purpose. Harland did not want that future. Even if he had no clear dream, he knew he wanted more than endless obedience and quiet regret. At one point, he returned home, hoping for comfort or stability. But home no longer felt like home. His mother had remarried. The household was strict. Tension filled the air. Rules were enforced without warning. Harland felt like an outsider in his own family. That sense of not belonging grew stronger, so he left again, this time with even less certainty than before. Town after town, job after job, the pattern repeated. Hope would rise briefly, then collapse. But with every failure, Harland grew sharper. He learned how to speak confidently to strangers, how to read people quickly, how to sell an idea, even when he doubted himself. He learned how pride could destroy opportunities, and how stubbornness, while dangerous, could also fuel survival. Anger followed him everywhere. Anger at poverty, anger at authority, anger at himself. He fought often, sometimes with words, sometimes with his fists. Frustration lived just beneath the surface. Yet beneath that anger, something else was forming. Energy without focus, ambition without direction, discipline without structure, like fire with nowhere to go. One particular job left a lasting impression. Harland worked briefly for a railroad company. The work was brutal. The rules were strict. Mistakes were not tolerated. One error could end your employment instantly. He hated it, but he noticed something important. The men who survived were not always the strongest or smartest. They were the most disciplined. They followed routines. They respected order. They understood structure. For the first time, Harland clearly saw what he lacked. It was not talent. It was not courage. It was structure. As his teenage years continued, the restlessness became overwhelming. He was tired of drifting, tired of being dismissed, tired of starting over with nothing. He wanted to matter. He wanted to belong. He wanted to be part of something larger than himself. And slowly, an idea formed in his mind. A risky idea, a desperate idea, a bold idea. What if discipline could be forced into his life? What if structure could shape him? What if he could step into a system that demanded order and offered belonging? The United States Army became that idea. Uniforms, ranks, rules, clear purpose. Everything his life lacked. There was only one problem. He was too young. But rules had never stopped Harland Sanders before. As this episode comes to an end, Harland stands at a turning point. Behind him is a trail of unfinished jobs, broken routines, and constant movement. Ahead of him is a decision that could either break him completely or finally give his chaos a direction. In the next episode, Episode 3, The Uniform of Discipline, a barely teenage Sanders lies about his age and joins the U.S. Army. There, he discovers structure, discipline, and the first true sense of belonging he has ever known. And for the first time in his life, the boy who could not stay still will be forced to stand in line.